Good evening, folks. Hope everybody's week is off to a good start. Out here at Ladoga Lake and going to do a little bit of fishing. There's a spot out here off of this peninsula that's been decently active. I tried a little bit earlier, got a few fish, and see if we can get some bigger fish this time around. The bait we're going with out there is going to be crickets and mayfly larvae. So let me check and see if I need to pour up before we head out to the spot. I think we're good. Sounds good, Dentera. And let me hit up old Canadian Way in game real quick here. But I've got a few things to show. We did hit 95% bait harvesting over the weekend, so I can finally get mole crickets. The climb to 100 is going very slowly, but we're getting there. All right, there we go. All right, so the downside of this spot is that you do need a boat to get there, which is something I really, this map and some others, they really limit you on what you can get to without a boat. It really stinks that you can't like walk over here, or that there's not like a cheaper boat option that you can take that you can't fish from. It's just for transportation, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and just grab a one-day boat to travel over there. And we'll just grab this, and I'll go over the details of the spot once I reach the point where I disembark. How was the search for sturgeon and sterling going for you, Dentera? Did you manage to catch any? They're definitely hard to target out there. No luck. Yeah, I've gotten just the three little ones out there, and they kind of just happened randomly when I was trying to get wild carp. So the hard part is that they tend to be a lot deeper, and getting down there to those deeper spots with telescopic is just either impossible, or you can only do it from boat, and then you only have one line out, so it's definitely difficult to do. But on the note of depth, I did some experimenting, and what I found the advantage of slider rig is that it drops your bait to the depth you set faster than the fixed float does, like a lot faster. The downside is that it does seem to make it a little bit harder to set the hook from what I've seen. But like right now, these are set to 2-meter depth, and if I was on a fixed rig, or a fixed line rig, it would kind of sit there at the top of the water for about, and just slowly drip down. It would take it about probably 5 or 6 seconds to get down to the bottom. But with the slider rig, it's pretty much instant. So that is the advantage of slider rig over fixed line. And I haven't really noticed it affect bite rate or anything like that. It's more or less that the fish don't hook quite as easily, is all I've noticed. All right, we've got the first nibbles here. I'm going to take that one pretty quick. Here we go, first fish of the night. And we got one on this one too, so you can set the hook. I'm getting a lot better at trying to juggle hook setting to make sure I don't lose any fish. As you can see there, like there's a much narrower window. Terrible first fish there. For setting the hook with the slider rig, it feels like. And an update on my Norwegian Sea trip plans. I had planned originally on starting the first of those 2 streams today, but if you can't tell from my voice, I don't know if the mic is picking it up well, but I've been fighting some nasty allergies today, so I figured I'll wait till the allergies are not quite so bad, hopefully in the next couple days here, to kick off that stream, which it'll be 2.5 hour streams. That way I can get out there and get plenty of action in the boat without, because one of the downsides of those Norway trips is that your rental time is very limited, so you don't want to waste time going back and forth between the shore, your fishing holes. Go, second fish coming in. Like another Vindus there. And let me actually check my hook size. So I was experimenting with different hook sizes earlier, and I actually don't remember what I left everything. 4, 4, and 6. Let's try to get a better idea, since all these are basically the same setup. I think what I'm going to try doing is making them. Let's change this one to a size 10, since that should theoretically have a much higher bite rate. Let's see, size 10, here we go. And let's compare what we get as far as average fish size versus bite rate between size 4, size 6, and size 10 hooks out here. Got something slowly carrying line 3 over there. Little shovel action. Yeah, tongue beetle's not bad. And if we don't get anything picked up on this side, I was having a little bit more luck over here on this side when I was trying earlier, but from what I've seen people post in their keep nets, this side has been generally better. We got something in size 10. Yeah, I'm definitely still working on getting used to the hook set timing for the slider rigs. The depth is 2 meters on these. Get that one. As you see, like there's just it seems like there's a lot more false drops with the slider rig versus fixed line, I feel. This is the size 6 hook over here that's getting a nibble. And I think if you bring the depth up to like 1.5 meter, you might get a better Vindus bite rate, but I'm definitely trying to get some of those bigger whitefish if I can. All right, got fish on 2 lines here. This one in, and then grab the other line. A little bit chunkier Vindus there. 315. And there's also a spot on Quarry Lake right now. Hook size, so yeah, the hook size is what I'm experimenting on. I've got size 10, size 4, or size 6 over here, and size 4 over here. I'm kind of trying to experiment here with the 3 different hook sizes to see what we see how much of a difference the bite rate makes versus the average size of the fish, to see if it's like if you're in happy hour, for example, you're going to want the smaller hook to get those bonus chances of the higher chance of getting skill gains, but otherwise I'd rather probably get a lower bite rate but larger fish. I may swap these back over to fixed line. Not sure yet. Tonight's tea is a pomegranate black tea. Still a little bit toasty. Did you happen to catch any larger wild carp than what you were getting earlier, Dintera? This line's actually set at 1.5 meters, so. Got another Vindus, it looks like. Hey, there we go, trophy already. And this is on the size 6 hook at 1.5 meters here. It's a weekly, of course. Appreciate that. There you go. If you want the Vindus, target a slightly shallower depth. Since they're on the size 4 hook, they're taking a while to bring that thing down. I missed it. I'm missing a lot on that size 4. Now, I tried catching some pike earlier at Oldberg. Same thing over the weekend. I was trying to target them and never did manage to grab one. I got a bunch of perch, but never any pike. To get the one pike out one of the streams that just kind of got lucky on, but I'll have to try Volkov at some point for that, I suppose. He's just nibbling away here. Fish on? Nope. So yeah, this is definitely what I've been experiencing since trying slider rig. So I mean, there is the advantage of it dropping faster, which if I'm trolling on telescopic, there might be a good argument for using it over fixed line, but otherwise, with as harder as it seems to be making the hook setting, I feel like fixed line is probably the better option. It was on 1 and 3 here. Yeah. There's a Vaux whitefish. Still have never caught a Valam whitefish out here. I'm hoping to someday, but I don't know if there's just like a different strategy for catching them or what the deal is. Just have never managed to catch one. Go scoop here, see if we can get a mole cricket. Nope. Saving those mole crickets up for when I want to do some catfishing at some point, probably. I don't know. I'm not sold on the slider rig for anything but the telescopic fishing. Or sorry, not telescopic. Trolling with telescopic to get it into the depth you need quicker. Do a Vindus there. Tiny Vindus. Get some a little more weight on it here. What we got? Another Vindus. Yep. I wonder, so this area gets down to about 3.5 meters. I wonder if I'll drop down to like a 3-meter depth, we could get a little bit more. Hey, Canadian, appreciate the raid there. Welcome, everyone. How'd your stream go, Canadian? Looks like we were fishing out there at Seversky. Saw you catching some sunfish a second ago. Pretty good. There's Vindus there. Welcome, everyone. We're just out here at Ladoga Lake, fishing off of this little rock pier here, trying to get some whitefish and Vindus. We already got the trophy Vindus so far. Fishing on mayfly and cricket. And we've got a variety of hook sizes right now because I want to compare the bite rate versus average fish size. So I've got a size 4 hook here, 6 here, and 10 here. What's going on, Canadian? So I did some experimenting out here, and I finally figured out what the purpose of slider rig is versus fixed rig. Ah, no problem, man. No problem at all. But actually, I was planning on doing my first Norwegian sea trip stream today, but my allergies are acting up, so my voice is a little bit hoarse. So I'm gonna wait till hopefully in the next couple of days we can get some relief from the pollen, and I can kick that off. what I found with the slider rigs is that they allow you to get the hook down to your depth, your set depth, a lot faster, like almost instantly. So I think it'd be really good for trolling. But what I'm finding out here fishing from the shore is that it seems harder to set the hook with the slider rig. I appreciate the follow there, Coach Hero. Welcome to the channel. Go ahead and throw some ground bait out there so we can liven it up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to trying the slider rig out next time I do telescopic trolling, because that is one of the biggest drawbacks I was having when I was doing the telescopic trolling, is that if I was setting more than like a meter deep, it was taking forever for that hook to go down. Another Ventus, it looks like. And in other news, I did hit 95% bait harvesting over the weekend, so getting close to 100% there, but I'm able to get mole crickets now. Very rarely. I've gotten 2 total since I unlocked it. It's that one. Yeah, it definitely seems like the hook timing is a lot more narrow with the slider rig. So I'm not convinced it's a great option when fishing from the shoreline. Ooh, another Ventus there. And anyone else trying this spot out for yourselves? Coordinates are 4358-ish out here on this little rocky pier. And I was fishing the other side over here earlier and having some pretty good luck on that side as well. So one side dries up for you, you can just turn around and try again. So Canadian, were you fishing out at Seversky? I saw you pick up some pumpkin seed sunfish. Hydrate time, all right, you got it. Cheers. And I did earlier also set off, I got 2 water body records out here. Always a good way to start the week off. We got the water body record for White Dream on tele and for Eyed on tele, which the Eyed was a rather rare catch. I kind of want to try using some leeches and see if we have better luck getting the Eyed. Right now, I think there's kind of a random low chance to get on the hooks. Winding and Donnets, very nice. Yeah, I saw you got a Donnets rough as well. Always nice to see those caught. And by the way, everyone, I'm sure most of you came over here from Canadian stream, but those of you that haven't, he does have his big 500 follower giveaway coming up this weekend on YouTube. So be sure to check out his YouTube channel and follow it if you're not already, and keep an eye out for that this weekend. Should be a pretty exciting. And I think you'll be streaming that on Twitch, right? You know, even though it's for YouTube followers, I think you mentioned you were doing Twitch was a little bit easier for you to stream on. Yep. Okay. So yeah, be sure to follow him here on Twitch and check his YouTube channel out. There's a smelt. All right. And still, this certainly isn't as active as when this spot over here is active. Maybe we can land another trophy before the night ends. Yeah, missed it. Yeah, so this is definitely the struggle I'm having with these slider rigs. They just the timing to set the hook for them is definitely different than it is for fixed rigs. Yeah, I've heard. I've been hearing some murmurs about Sura being fairly active, so might have to give that a look. Seems like Actubas has some wild carp and buffalo activity, but we all know how much that freaking body of water hates me. Looks like Tunguska is pretty active as well. I see Left for Mush out there picking up a bunch of stuff on his tele. Oldberg, on the other hand, tried the spots out there and wasn't having anything, so I think Oldberg may be a little bit dead for now. Which isn't surprising. I think they had an official tournament there this weekend, which means a lot of the spots were probably fished up. Let's take a look at our net here. Okay, there's the trophy we caught. Second, actually the second fish of the stream. Nice when you get them early on like that. I think after the next fish, I may turn around and try the other side. See if we get some better bite rate over there. Ooh, okay. Give me a little bit of a fight for a second there. Looks like an eyed, I think. Yep, not too bad. Not as good as the one we caught earlier. There was a water body record. It was almost 4 kilo. Toying with this line here. This is the smallest, or no, this is the size 6 hook on this one. Still just playing with it. And here's another one. Like a, yep, another Ventus. Not bad. Already up to almost 25 fish. I'm gonna go ahead and turn around and cast everything on the other side. Oh man, that's rough. There's probably a way you can get around that with like maybe using a VPN to change the region or something like that when you redeem them. I'm not sure. We get something figured out for it. Or are you able to like exchange them potentially? Right. Which one of these? This is the. I'm actually going to change the one with the size 4 hook to have a leech on there. See if we can track something different. Let's see. Put leech and. We'll do leech and grasshopper. Stretch. Alrighty. Get a nice vertical stretch on. Do side to side action here. An arch of the back. Wake them old muscles up. I'll need it because I've got a bit of a task ahead of me after I finish this stream. Got 2 huge branches. They're basically small trees that fell, and I need to move them out of the front of the yard so I can cut them apart. And they are heavy. Well, hopefully you can find a good use for the ones you got at least. Another stretch and a hydrate. All right. Some more stretching on here. Do a little water bottle action as I stretch. Ah, yeah. There we go. Let's see. Nope, nothing biting on this side now. Guess maybe we need to go back and flip to the other side here. Leave it for another minute or two. So there's another spot on Quarry Lake right now that is by the campsite, which is supposed to be really good, but I went out there and tried it and I caught a few small lake trout and that was it. So I don't know, it was raining when I tried it, so it could be could have been a weather impact, but something to consider trying if you're trying to get some Vindus and don't have Ladoga Lake available yet. What do I plan on doing for 200 followers? It's a good question. You have to got a little ways to go, but I'll give it some thought. Figure something fun out for that. Certainly, at least another raffle giveaway that people seem to enjoy that, and some sort of competition. Little tiny Vindus there. Which I'm hoping to get better luck with grabbing some of those gold baits that you can get from scooping and shoveling, because I'd like to start doing like a Friday night streams, maybe do like a raffle or competition to give away like 5 of those special baits. But man, the catch rate on them is terrible. Like I said, I've gotten 2 mole crickets since unlocking it. That's probably across maybe 75 or so attempts with the shovel. It's very, very rare. Hey, I would certainly wouldn't mind getting. I do need to work on getting some curated content together for my YouTube. I know I've slowly been drafting up the stuff for a like some telescopic guide series. Definitely to put more into that besides just my stream VODs. I just sit down and plan it all out ultimately. Maybe at some point here soon, also plan do a duo stream and try to do the Fishing Planet Club like we'd mentioned. Kind of start over, even though like my account on there is like level 40 something. I'd probably start over on the first map because I haven't played it since like 2020. So heck if I can remember how to play. And we got a little lake trout here. $1.5 kilo. Yes, the float content, like I feel like part of the I think there's 2 reasons for the lack of float content. One is certainly lack of interest. I mean, we're starting to get more and more people interested in telescopic fishing, but I think the other reason is that for a long time now, the main use of telescopic fishing has just been for the leaderboards because there's a lot less competition for it. So pretty much the only people that were bothering with telescopic fishing were level 40 plus players with all the really expensive rods and everything, just going for like world record, weekly records and stuff like that. So when your primary audience for a type of fishing is the leaderboard and trophy seekers like that, they're probably going to keep their spots and tactics more secret. All right, seems like the bite rate is definitely dumpstered here. Probably too cold, looking at the temperature up there. But my tentative plan right now with my telescopic rods, I'm going to finish up the getting bait harvesting to 100%, which I'm hoping, my estimate is it'll take me about probably around 600-ish more silver to in ingredients to get there. So I should be able to knock that out with the Norwegian sea trip, and then I'm going to be saving up to start getting the trophy rod that gives +3 to fixed line and slider rig skill. And then we can start going after some trophy whitefish and stuff like that. Be pretty fun. Can't go after carp on a line like that because it's a 17 kilo capacity. Pretty much like outside of those extra large fish, should be able to go after all the other things you can go after with telescopic. This spot's getting pretty slow. So I'm going to pull this fish in, and I will show to demonstrate the difference between float rig and slider rig with getting the hook down to the set depth. I think that'll be a nice little thing to do. If someone, one of my viewers wouldn't mind setting a clip for this when I get it all set up here, we can use it as a useful resource for people to go back and reference. These leeches aren't doing it. I'm going to set this to 5 meter depth. This is on a slider rig here. And I'm going to change this one over to a fixed line rig. Set it to 5 meters as well. Yeah, the tutorials is kind of like the idea I had of starting with like beginner, going over the basics of telescopic fishing, then going into throughout the series doing some more advanced strategies and tactics and ways to do it. All right, so here we're going to let me set a marker here for my. Have you tried using markers on your Twitch streams, Canadian? Because for some reason, anytime I try to add a marker, I just get an error message saying something went wrong. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if anyone else is having that kind of issue. So let's just do let me start a clip here. All right, so I'm going to start by casting. This is the fixed float rig. I'm going to cast out, and you will see like how long it takes for that float to go vertical because of how deep it's set. Versus the slider rig at the same depth. That one's almost instant. So that's the advantage right there of using a slider rig. If you're fishing deep, it's going to get down there really quick compared to the fixed float rig. But as I'm seeing, this is I need to try to some other bodies of water where but I am finding that the fixed or the slider rig tends to be a little bit more difficult to actually set the hook. The window to set it seems a lot more narrow. So the fixed line seems to be more forgiving. And I feel like if you're fishing deep anyways, you're not fishing for stuff that has a particularly high bite, or I shouldn't say high bite, but a fast bite rate. So I think that the slider rig is going to be a game changer for telescopic trolling, but for fishing from the shoreline, I think you're better off just sticking with the fixed line. All right, do a little shovel action here. I got a night crawler. Here's a little bit of silver. If this spot doesn't pick up soon, might try another area. Got a nibble here. Another lake trout. They put up so much of a fight despite how small they are. It's 1.2 kilo there and getting my line to orange. Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm definitely missing the hook setting much more frequently on these slider rigs. Slow as this is going, you know what? Let's put it to the test. I want to go fast travel back to town here instead of taking the boat. And let's go try some telescopic trolling to wrap things up out at Tunguska using the slider rig so that the line gets to the depth we're going for right away. Let's check and see if there's any cafe orders we can fill first. Or believe. Nope, nothing. Alright. Oh, wait, actually, we do have the eye we can sell here. Oh, that'll do. Alright, let's head over to Tunguska. I don't know why they still have that like DLC pop-up for Tunguska and Amber Lake. You should probably just remove that from the coding. It's an unnecessary pop-up. Alright, here we go. Let's grab us a boat ticket. And hop on the old tin can. Well, before we hop on that, get another shovel in. Just worms. Alright, here we go. Knock into the pier a little bit there. Alright, let's get this to trolling, and we've got the slider rig on here. This is a size 4 hook. Let's do mayfly and red worm, and let's set the depth to... let's get a little bit over some more. And we'll set the depth to 3 meters, and see if that slider rig getting down to the 3 meter mark so much quicker improves our trolling experience out here. Alright, it's down to 3 meter. And here we go. Yeah, that's usually, if it was on the fixed line, the float wouldn't go upright until it was pretty much past the back of the boat. So potentially this could be a big improvement to the telescopic trolling. Now, whether or not these spots are active, that's a different story. Yeah. What's our first fish out here? Looks like a grayling. All right. I'll take that. Not bad, over a kilo. Do you believe we still have a lot of doubters that telescopic trolling is even possible, Canadian? The unbelievers. We left the mushes out there doing some ultralight telescopic action, probably at Ladoga Lake. Just never lose faith in the tele rods. Oh yeah, kind of drifting off course here. Let me steer back in. I mean, I've heard that there is at least one other person that does, and to be fair, it's fun, but the bite rate, because you can only have one rod out. Realistically, if I wanted to make it something that was actually probably pretty profitable, I would keep spinners, or not spinners, but just casting lines out in the boat holders, the rod holders for the boat. That way, you're still getting three lines in the water. That would require using something with a reel, and we've abandoned that life. And I may actually downsize this hook and see if we can find some of the smaller fish out here. Oh yeah, no doubt it would. I still want to... I'm waiting to see when this bend up here gets active, because this is like the one spot on the small stream where you can reliably have 3 telescopics in the water. All the other spots, the current is just too strong. And some nibbles on here. It looks like it gave up. Although who knows, maybe with the slider rig being able to get the depth set faster, maybe I need to give the stream another try, see if the quicker sinking action helps get past the issues of the current taking it too far, too fast. Nothing yet. Bring it on back into the deep water here. Something I'm actually interested in trying to do. Let's hop over here into the 12-meter hole and do something a little bit risky. What in the world? I feel like we're not making any progress. This work? There we go. All right, so I'm gonna cut the engine off now. Switch to drifting, and I'm gonna try. Let's throw one of these bad boys on, plus a night crawler, and set this real deep. Let's see if we can't pull a little sturgeon out of the water. It should be in the 12-meter hole. Why is that float? There we go. We're at that little bit of a golden hour of sunset. See if we can pull something big out of the water here. Yep. Well, that's not big, whatever it is. Broad whitefish. All right, the nightcrawler needs to come off of here. Let's put a gammerus on here. Don't want to waste precious cockchafer larvae or stuff we can catch on regular worm. Yeah, even with the slider rig, dropping 5 meters is still a little bit of a, still takes a little bit of time, but certainly faster than the fixed float rig. And one day, we're going to find a reliable taming spot. All right, what do we have on here? Really? Another broad whitefish? And apparently doesn't want to come up onto the boat. It'll be a bit of a pain to pull in. Where'd he go? That's right. We'll find the pink salmon spot, put some roe on here, figure out a way to catch him. Here's the deal with this guy. I'm gonna look straight up. Sometimes if you look straight up, it will bring the tip of your pole up a little bit higher. What is this fish doing? So this is a good example of why if you're fishing from a boat, it is better to use the shorter rods, like the 5 meter, but we don't have any of those of merit yet. Okay, that's a pretty big guy right there. Let's see. 4-kilo broad whitefish. What's he doing going after my expensive bait? You're getting greedy on me, Canadian. Freaking fish I can catch on redworms going after cockchafer and gamaroos. Sheesh. Real feels bad. The least they could do is be a trophy if they're going to do that, right? Old Strixcon out there in game, always eating melted cheese. His character's going to be so backed up. We don't end up drifting into the shit. Sparks is too shallow here. I'm going to have to move forward some. So what sort of fishing are you doing out there at Seversky right now, Canadian? You doing trolling with some spinners or telescopic action? Move forward a little bit, get back into the deeper part of the water here. Bottom feeding, eh? Well, you know, if you're at Seversky, didn't we determine that it's a carp? That's a carp lake now? Further in. Go. Slowly converting to the tele life. It's worth it. I mean, you could do bottom feeding for those carp out there as well. All right, come on, give me a little sturgeon. That's what we're after here. A little sturgeon. Yeah, I do need to put some tutorial videos here. I need to also mess around with, if I'm going to do a float series in general, I need to mess around with a Bolo float, since they have a couple rig types that are actually, I guess, Matron more realistically, since they do have a couple of rig types that you don't have access to on tele. But my biggest plan is kind of to, once I get to 100% float fishing, I want to play around with these Surulina or Burrowlina. I don't know which letter is the silent one, but interested to try some of that out. I appreciate that, Canadian. All right, come on, sturgeon. I've got some delicious larvae here for you. Oh, there we go. It's not big, whatever it is. Really? A Cisco going after my expensive bait? Jeez. All right, cameras. Let's try switching you to. All right, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm putting a mole cricket in the water. One of my 2 mole crickets. I swear if I get like a smelt or something, I'm gonna sink the boat and go down with it. Looks like someone's found a good tele spot out at Actuba right now. That's right. Make me think of a great Census Fell song there, Canadian. Rum is for drinking, not for burning, is the name of that song. I don't know if mole cricket can actually, because like mole crickets are generally for catfish, I think. And we pretty much only have those Amur catfish here, so yeah, since I only have 2 anyways, I gave it a shot. Let's go back to the larva. And larva and dung beetle. Where are them sturgeon at? Yep, it's the old left from mush out there at Ladoga Lake. Fellow telescopic enthusiast. Yeah, the IRL fishing stream is definitely something I plan on doing. The trick is I gotta find a spot around me where I'll have a good enough signal to stream. There's a couple decent little carp ponds that I know of in driving distance of me, but I don't know how good my signal's going to be. That, but it is something I want to do as a real life carp fishing stream. And I do actually have a massive, not even really telescopic, it's a straight up bamboo cane rod. It's a 24-foot cane rod. I don't think it's strong enough to take on carp, though. And I also don't know how I would transport that, because a truck, I can stick it out the back of a truck bed and put a flag on it, but I can't go and do that with my car, so that would be a tricky thing to figure out. Speaking of travel things, Kane, have you heard of this giant LARP event they do over in Quebec? I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a B, like Bicoline or something like that. I stumbled across some YouTube videos of it recently, and it's mildly interesting. Something I might actually consider going up to the Great White North and trying next year, possibly. Well, the dung beetle doesn't seem to be bringing us any fish. I think we need to scoot forward into the 11-meter hole and try it out, I guess. I really want to stick around this 7.5, though. Just get back to the middle of it. Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I guess it's been going on for a while. Yeah, it's apparently about 2.5 hours north of Montreal, I think. But it's a huge event that I guess they do events all year there, but it's like, I don't even remember how many acres, but they have hundreds of buildings and stuff like this. It's just a massive, basically, replica Renaissance town that they use for these huge LARPing events. I have to look it up. I'll find the website of it later and send it to you on Discord. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll go back to the Gamma since it was actually getting some bites. Give us a little sturgeon. Do the sturgeon here bite at night, or are they daytime biters? No, the ones I caught at Actuba were at nighttime. They were Persian and sterlet. I messed up. I put the wrong bait on my sandwich. Go back to the lark. For more during the daytime? Alrighty. That would explain it. And just a reminder to everyone, make sure you check out Canadian Way's Twitch and YouTube. He'll have a big stream this Saturday for his reaching 500 followers on YouTube. I think this Saturday, right to October the 8th. Definitely keep an eye out for all that good stuff. Oh, it's Sunday. Okay, so correction, Sunday. Well, Sunday this on the in North America, I guess. Some other time zones may be a little different there, but follow his channels if you haven't already. Make sure you get your notifications for it. I need to check, Canadian. I know one of the days this weekend in the evening, I'm going to be unavailable. I can't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday. I need to confirm that tonight. As long as it's not that day, then I'll definitely be joining in for that. I think it's Saturday, so if that is correct, then I should be able to join you for it. Here we go. What do we got? What do we got? Something small, whatever it is. Another Cisco. No, it's a humpback whitefish. Okay. Now the question is, are they going after the Gammarus or the larva? I'm guessing it's probably the Gammarus. So let's take that off of there and keep just the larva on. And move back into the hole here. Actually, what I might try, let's see if I can put both the larva and pieces of fish on and see if this float can handle it. Now this river is deceptively big. I think you've moved pretty far along it, and pull the map up and you've moved like a millimeter. Go, got this way a little bit. All right, let's see. Can I do pieces of fish and larva on? A little bit of cucumbers and tea. It looks like we can keep this float upright using the pieces of fish and the larva. All right, the sun's starting to come up. Hopefully we'll get a little sturgeon with it to cap things off. Do-do-do-do. Or a trophy broad whitefish would be nice as well. Canadian, are you going to be kicking a stream back up tonight, or are you done for the day? Done for the day? All right. I got about another 10 minutes or so here, and then I'll start working my way back to the docks to cash these fish in. Does anybody know of any of these holes particularly active for sturgeon or taimen right now. No, we're Canadian. If starting earlier works better for you, then we can just swap it around too and plan. I'm going to try to keep consistently around the same time, starting at the 6 p.m. Eastern when I do it. With the exception of when I do the Norway trips, those two, I'm going to start at like 5 p.m. Eastern and run till 7:30. Do 2.5 hour streams for that. But yeah, whichever works easier for you, just let me know. We'll work it out. I'm gonna start my streams earlier than I used to because I got a group that's been doing a run through Monster Hunter World and Iceborne that I've been tagging with at the during the later parts of the evening. So I'm starting these at 6 p.m. rather than or I was starting them around 8 back in the day. All right. Let's try moving over to the 11-meter hole and see if we have any better luck. So another game I want to see if people would be interested in watching a stream of in the future is it's a game that's been around since like the mid 90s called Unreal World. It's a top-down graphic tile roguelike style game that's really super in depth. And one of the updates they've got coming soon is they're overhauling fishing in the game, so it's got a lot more realistic simulation as far as where to catch different species of fish, the seasons, and all that kind of stuff. So I'd be curious how many people would be interested in watching a stream of that. Well, I appreciate that, Canadian. Yeah, we got a really it's one of those games that like 98% of people are not going to be into that style of game, but for people that are into those kind of turn-based top-down roguelikes from yesteryear, if they want one that's like really deep into survival, it is fantastic. Its setting is iron, like early Iron Age Finland, and it's just super in depth as far as all the survival mechanics, going out hunting, fishing, having to preserve the meat, using everything to craft all your stuff. It's really cool. And then the actual combat gets really crazy. And fishing's always been a part of it, but they're doubling down with the next update to make the fishing a lot more realistic as far as where and how to catch the fish. Yeah, so it's I'm different from Ark in that Ark is first person. This is literally like it's old school. If you've ever seen, I'm trying to think of a game that I could compare it to in the modern era, but so if all those old roguelikes like Adom, the original Rogue, NetHack, stuff like that, that's the kind of game it is where it's just top down, turn based. So it's really like slow paced, methodical. One of my favorite playthroughs on that game. There's a little island because there's beyond wildlife. There's also there are like friendly tribes that you can go to their towns and or their villages and stuff like that. But there's also this warlike nation that's kind of like slowly invading the area. And if you're camping in the mainland, then they can come across your settlement and start raiding it and stuff like that. So I went and took over this little island out in the sea. So whenever I had to come back to the mainland, I had to take a boat and stuff like that. Or if it was deep in the winter, I'd get some like skis or a sled and go across the frozen lake, stuff like that. But it kept the warlike nation away from me. Well, these sturgeon don't want to come out and play, do they? Give about 5 more minutes here, then I'll head to the docks and sell what we've got. So we're in a location called Sturgeon Slough. So you would think that if I'm going to hit a sturgeon, it would be here. So what is the biggest sturgeon caught on telescopic here at Tunguska? We got a sterlet, 13.5 kilo, not bad. Yep, exact bait setup I'm using. No, I actually don't see. That's the only one I see. Okay. Ah, the East Siberian. There we go. Woo! 30 kilo. All right. Someone's done it. Come on, sturgeon. Work with me here. All right, let's switch the bait back to some normal stuff and start working our way back to the docks, I suppose. We'll troll our way there. But I will say, I do think the slider rig for the telescopic trolling is fantastic. For regular fishing from the shore, I think fixed rig is probably better since it seems to hook better. But let's bring this into about 2 meter depth. The troll closer to the shoreline. So what's the biggest telescopic rod you've got so far, Canadian? contact. I think. Did I have one of those at some point? No, I had the comfort. 7 kilo. It's not bad. Honestly, I feel like with telescopic fishing, like the like 7 or 8 kilo capacity, like a red stick or a contact, is basically all you need until you're ready to switch up to the Falcons, because there's just not a lot that you'll be able to target that's not too risky to target between the two, which is interesting. You compare that to the other fishing types where there's a lot of like tiers where you're doing like minor upgrades. With telescopic, it's really like small and then just jump straight to the biggest. Because while something like one of the, say, 12, 13 kilo capacity ones, technically you could go after, obviously, like 12, 13 kilo fish, but those fish also tend to come in much larger sizes, so it just becomes so much of a risk to try to use those, it's just not worth it. All right, and that's all we're going to grab on our trip here. So let's head to the cafe first, see if we can fill in the orders and cash out between these Ladoga lake fish and handful of stuff we caught out here at Tunguska. What you got for us, cafe? Nope, 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 nope. No. Why did that? Nope, only got 2. Get enough of those? Nope. All right. Well, I guess it's just going to be a raw fish price. Set it in the market and take our guess on how much we've got. We do have the trophy Vindus in there. That's going to be a big boy. And this broad whitefish could be worth quite a bit. I'm going to guess 142. 143 from Canada. Ooh, we've got 1 silver difference here. Going for the Price is Right strategy. All right. Let's see what our total came out to. 181. Okay, Price is Right rules. You got that one. Do I have anything to turn into pieces of fish? I'll turn this 1 lake trout into fish pieces, I guess. All right, not too shabby, not too shabby. Go ahead and cut that up real quick. And there we go. All right. So overall, not too bad. That Ladoga spot, it's okay. That's right. You get to spin the wheel and make sure you don't land on over $1. Yeah. So that Ladoga Lake spot, it's okay. It's compared to the other Ladoga Lake spots we've had in the past. The bite rates leaves a lot to be desired, but it's not terrible. It's all right. I think there are definitely some spots on Tunguska right now that are going to be worth checking, like that. This 12-meter hole, we got that 4 kilo broad whitefish, so I might explore that some more at some point soon. And other than that, I will be doing the second Norway, my last Norway trip. It'll be a 2-parter this week. Possibly starting that tomorrow night, but more likely a little bit later in the week because I'm still getting over some allergies. But when I do, I'll be starting that both nights around 5 p.m. Eastern time. The first night, I'll probably start it about 15 minutes earlier than that, just to get ready to get the trip made over there and get the rig set up and all that good stuff. We look forward to that. And reminder again, this weekend, Canadian's got his YouTube 500 follower special. He'll be streaming here on Twitch. So definitely tune into that. There'll be some giveaways and prizes and all that fun stuff. So sure to show some support his way. But with that, let's do our end of stream scoop. Let's hope for some nice gold bait for good luck. Just a worm. That's not a good way to end things, but it is what it is. All right, folks. Well, I hope everyone has a good night or a good day for your time zone and some good fishing. And I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.